Hey guys, today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you guys around my studio, show you most of my gear that I use to record, and it's more of an informational type video for amateurs that are getting out there to start recording. You're going to see some of the gear that I use, the most important pieces of gear that's needed, and some recommendations of gear that I would recommend you get. Please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post the link right here. All you got to do is click that link and you'll be subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for all your support. As always, you can go back and look at my videos, look at my covers, and look at all the production work I do in here. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So the first piece of gear that I'm going to show you today is going to be the audio interface. There are going to be some cuts in this video just because I have to switch the camera around to show you guys the different gear. So here we go. So this is an audio interface. This is the one that I'm using. It's an M Audio M-Track Quad. So let me put it this way. If you're doing piano vocal covers, it's okay to have two inputs because you can plug in your piano right in here and you can plug in your vocals, your microphone right in there. The thing is, if you're going to be recording a band, you're going to want more inputs on there because this will allow you to record at the same time. All of these will have different outputs in Logic. That's the DAW that I'm using. So I would recommend at least 4 inputs, and that's only if you're doing band stuff, if you're doing some band stuff. If you're going to be working alone, then 2 is fine. And I don't know if M Audio has an audio interface that has 2 inputs, but I know Scarlett definitely has interfaces that have 2 inputs on there, so that would be beneficial to you. I recommend spending some money on this piece of gear because this is the thing that's gonna help your recordings sound great. It's very important. Look up the reviews on them, on the different interfaces, and try and pick the best one for the price that you're looking for. Right above the M Audio interface, right here, we have a headphone amp. This is good for recording bands and as well as doing piano vocal covers. What this does is it raises the overall volume of the whole mix without affecting what's in Logic, which is the DAW that I use, which we'll get to after. This is very important, but you don't need to spend so much money on there. You can find something that's cheaper. This is the one that I have, Livewire Solutions HA204, and it actually came with 2 headphones. So these are the headphones that I got with it. The Tascam TH200X. They're pretty good headphones. They're good headphones for tracking. That's basically what I use when I play piano and I sing. They're really good. Everything together, it was a sweet deal off Musician's Friend. I'd recommend going there and checking for this deal. It wasn't so bad in price either. So these are the studio monitors that I use for this studio. They're Mackie CR4s. And what these do is they make you hear an exact replica of what is being played in Logic. There's no extra frequencies being added. It's just the exact sound that you recorded when you record it into Logic or your digital audio workstation. So they're very important because it's important to hear exactly what you've recorded and how they sound, and these studio monitors do exactly that. Unlike when you're listening to music on your iPhone and you have, let's say, Skullcandy headphones or any type of headphones that you would use to listen to your iPhone, they usually add extra bass just so the entertainment is a lot more intensified. So these are just matte sounding monitors, and it's important to have this because you want to hear exactly what's happening. So let me just show you both of them, how they look together. That's how they look together. One on one side, one on the other side. They sell studio monitor stands, but these also do for me. They're just regular wooden stands that I got from somewhere, I don't even know where, but they work. So this is the computer I use to record all of my covers. I want to turn your attention to the actual screen and what's on it. This is my digital audio workstation. It's called Logic Pro X. It costs about $200 on the App Store, but when I tell you it's worth the money, it is absolutely worth the money. My my recordings have increased dramatically in quality. I was using Reaper before, some free software called Reaper, and I updated to having Logic and having a Mac, and the performance quality, the actual sound quality of the recordings has increased dramatically. So I really recommend having a Mac and Logic. But you can record perfectly fine with Reaper and the great audio interface, so I wouldn't take that away from anybody. Above the Mac, I have a 40-inch TV screen. This is something extra that I added in the studio. I wanted to have the mixer up on my TV screen so that I can see the mix and everything, and how which effects are on each channel. See, so here are the effects on each channel that I have, and it's convenient. It's convenient to have. Another thing that I have is I have a third screen. Third screen is not that big of a screen. It's just a screen where I can search things up really fast, so I don't have to stop working on what I'm doing. I can just search it up really, really fast on my small screen right there, and I can continue working once I've found the answer to what I need. It's when recording, you won't know everything, so it's important to have Google open and searching the internet for things that you may need during the recording process. So it's pretty convenient to have another screen for me. So one of the last pieces of gear needed to record are microphones. I'm a very huge supporter of Blue microphones. They've proved their quality to me over the last 5 years. I've bought the newest microphone that I've bought from them is the Encore 300 microphone. Uh, Here it is. It's the Encore 300 microphone. It's a pretty good microphone. It's very good for live music, and as well it has its uses for in the studio too. The second microphone that I want to point you guys to is my Blue Spark microphone. This is probably the best microphone that I've ever used. The quality of this microphone is insane. You can see this in most of my covers that I use. I use this Blue Spark, and it's honestly, this is the best purchase that I've made in microphones. I have some more microphones. You can see it on my website, on my studio website. I'm going to point you guys to the description on the bottom. There you'll see a link to all of my stuff, my equipment and everything, that you guys can view for your own purposes to kind of guide you. Okay? So now I'm going to go over the 4 pieces of gear needed to begin your recordings. The first piece of gear that we're going to go over is the audio interface. The audio interface is the most important gear within your setup. It's the piece of gear that clears up all of the sound, and it makes you have that studio quality that all other studios have. It's the difference between having a camera recording and having an actual studio recording with the cleared up sound and without any static. So the the audio interface, I recommend that you spend a decent amount of money on. Within your range, of course, try and get the best audio interface. Do your research and get the best audio interface for your specific projects. Like I said before, having 2 inputs is better for if you're doing a vocal or acoustic version of songs and you need just one microphone and a keyboard. Meanwhile, if you want to record a band, you would want to have at least 4 or 5 inputs on your audio interface. So please do your research and get the best audio interface for you. The second piece of gear needed is the microphone. The microphones are very, very important. They will dramatically, if you have a very cheap microphone, the quality of let's say you're recording vocals, the quality of the vocals isn't going to be as good as the quality of a decently priced microphone. You can now, through Musician Friend, get very good microphones for cheap. They have their deal of the days, and they often have microphones during their deal of the days where you can get a really high-end microphone for a price that's cut in half. So it's not that bad to get a microphone anymore. Like I said, I recommend Blue. The Encore 300 is a pretty good microphone to start out with. But there's the Spark, the Blue Spark, which is absolutely amazing. I recommend that 100%, the Blue Spark. The third piece of gear that is needed is not a physical piece of gear, but it's going to be on your computer. It's called the DAW, the Digital Audio Workstation, and there are many different DAWs out there that you can use to record your covers or whatever you need to record. One of them is the free Reaper. The learning curve on Reaper is high. You need to look at many tutorials if you're a beginner to learn it. But once you learn it, you can really go to any other high quality, high end DAW out there. What I did was I used when I was a beginner at this stuff, I used Magix, a program called Magix, and it was okay. It got me through the beginning of my recording career, and then I moved on to Reaper. And like I said, the learning curve was high. I looked at YouTube videos and I tried my best to get all the stuff that I needed done. And after that, after using Reaper, I wanted to move up to Logic. I made the final step and I purchased Logic for about $200 on the App Store, and my mind was blown as soon as I did that. It was a dramatic increase in quality. I recommend it 100% if you are using Reaper right now and you need to move up. The learning curve isn't actually that bad from going from Reaper to Logic. They're both similar programs, but Logic has a lot more to offer than Reaper does. The last piece of gear that is needed to record is your computer. You need to have a decent computer to run these programs, these DAWs. Sometimes you're going to be having, if you're doing only piano and vocals, it's not so bad because you only need 2 tracks to do that. But if you're recording a band, you're going to need somewhere between 5 to 6 tracks to record. And, you need a decent computer to be able to run all your processes and all your processing, your EQs, and your effects. I sometimes have trouble with this, not going to lie. Sometimes I have to freeze some of the tracks, but that's only when I get up to 8 to 9 tracks, which really it only happens for my original songs that I make. But for these covers, I only do 2 tracks, piano and vocal, and a few effects on each track, and everything works perfect. So the last thing that I want to talk about is the actual video production, what I use during my video production. So the thing I use for making videos is something that came with my Mac, iMovie. iMovie has really been okay for me. I don't need anything else further than iMovie to create my videos. I can cut my clips. I can make some basic effects on it, and everything works fine for me. I want to show you around my room just to see how I'm recording this video right now. And right now I'm not using my audio interface. I'm not using anything that's hooked up. But this is kind of the setup that's happening when I do my videos. I have some lights everywhere, and they're basic lights, so there isn't anything to it. Let me just show you. So I was sitting in this seat, and to the right of me, I have one lamp. It's like a bedroom lamp. You see, it's nothing that serious. And to the left of me, I had just another lamp. I took off the thing that goes over the bulb, and it creates some decent light for me for when I record my videos. And what I use is I have a curtain behind here, and I have my piano right here, which is my Korg Chrome, my newest piano that I got, and it's worked wonders for me up till now. I absolutely love it. The bottom piano is, I believe, an Korg SP 200 or 300. Let me check. It is an SP 300. Okay, so this is the piano these are the pianos that I use when I record.